Hello, my name is Nicole Martin, and I chose debate 2 on whether liberalism, economic, and other forms of interdependence could create world peace. And my stance is that these forms of interdependence can create world peace. First of all, democratization is most likely to happen in countries that are interdependent with their neighbors. To start, democracies are more peaceful. Two big examples are America and North Korea. While America is at peace with most other large democracies such as Canada, the European Union, and Mexico, North Korea is a dictatorship, which is not democratic and is one of America's and other democratic countries' biggest possible enemies. This is because there is very little governing power other than the dictator of North Korea, and there is no one to prevent him from starting a war on a whim. However, because of the democracy in America and many other countries, there are rules that have to be followed, and many people who have to weigh in on the idea of waging a war, which makes it much less likely because there's just so many more opinions and so many more possibilities. However, there can still be war between democratizing countries, but this is because of a lack of interdependence. A good example of this is Armenia and Azerbaijan in the 1990s. So, before 1990, both countries came under the Soviet Union and had much of their economic development under the direction of the Soviet government. And because of this, they were mostly reliant on the Soviet Union and had very little connection with each other, very little ties with each other. In conjunction with this, each group had very distinct differences in identity. The main distinct difference being because Armenians were mostly Christian and the Azeris were mostly Muslims. So, as the Soviet Union began to weaken, Armenia and Azerbaijan, along with a lot of other countries within the Soviet Union, began to voice their desire for independence. So, after Armenia gained freedom from Russia, the Armenian president made it his absolute aim to establish Armenia as an independent and self sufficient country. However, both countries had verbally laid claim to the Artsakh, which is a landlocked region within the Karabakh mountain range. However, neither country wanted to cooperate because of a lack of interdependence due to their previous establishment in the Soviet Union, as long as their desire to become self sufficient and independent countries. And as a result, a war ensued for claim over the territory. However, it is also prevalent when democratizing countries have interdependence, there is peace and war does not happen. This is the case in examples such as Brazil and Argentina. So, due to Brazil and Argentina's past as producers of specialized goods for Europe, they had established economic systems in which they were already importing and exporting commodities, and both countries had very diverse economies with many desirable goods. And as a result, they not only made ties with each other, but also started gaining power in South America as main exporters. Both countries eventually established trade agreements that created an economic interdependence, and on top of this, it was strengthened by the Latin American Free Trade Agreement and the creation of the Association for Latin American Integration. So, when both countries began to democratize, they struggled with each other for power among South America. However, due to their interdependence, a war never arose between the two because causing a war would be more hurtful than helpful. So, all in all, it is evident that liberalism, economic, and other forms of interdependence can create world peace.